Hello darlings, it's me Cherise from Sher from 2000. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, if you couldn't tell by my appearance, I am going to be reading 101 Dalmatians from my Walt Disney Storyline collection book. It feels so good to be Cruella again. I haven't been Cruella since my top 10 favorite Disney villains. Well, female villains. So, I shall read you 101 Dalmatians. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Dog napping. 15 puppies stolen, said the newspaper headlines. It was a sad day in the small London house of Roger and Anita Radcliffe. Only yesterday had been proud owners of 17 beautiful Dalmatians. Now, only 2, Pongo and Perdita, remain, and Pongo and Perdita were also heartbroken. There had been articles in the newspaper, friends that helped them in the search, and even Scotland Yard had been called to find the missing puppies. "Oh, I'm afraid we've done everything possible," said Roger sorrowfully. "I don't know how we were ever going to find those puppies." Pongo looked very sad at his human owners and walked slowly back to the kitchen. "Purdy," he whispered to the puppy's weeping mother, "our humans are getting nowhere with the search. It looks like it's up to us." "But what will we do?" asked Perdita tearfully. "I have a plan," said Pongo. "The twilight bark is the fastest way to send news, and if only our puppies are anywhere in the city, then the London dogs will know. We'll send word tonight." It was almost dark that the evening that the Radcliffes took Pongo and Perdita to the park. Pongo barked the alert, 3 loud barks and a long howl. "Pongo!" admonished Roger. "Quiet, boy, you'll wake up the whole neighborhood." Pongo was silent, for he was awaiting the answer to the call. A Great Dane over in Hampstead replied. Pongo barked the news of the stolen puppies and asked for help. Soon, all over London, setters and bulldogs and mongrels and all the dogs of shapes and sizes were relying on the message. Far out in the country, the distant barking reached the shaggy ear of Colonel and retired army dog. With him and his friend, a cat named Sergeant Tibbs. The Colonel lifted his ear and listened, while he tried to decode a faint message. He pondered. 15 puddings. No. 15 spotted puddles stolen. No. 15 spotted puppies have been stolen. 15 puppies! Exclaimed Sergeant Tibbs. That's funny. I heard puppies barking down an old desert mansion the other night. Blenderdash, Tibbs, growled the old sheepdog. Nobody lives there for years. Someone is there now, replied the cat. Look, there's smoke coming from the chimney. By Jove, said the Colonel. So there is. Hop aboard, Tibbs, and we'll start investigating. The cat climbed onto the shaggy dog's ample back, and the Colonel floundered his way through the snowdrifts to the old room. Climb in through the window, instructed the Colonel, and see what's going on. Maybe the puppies are the ones that we're looking for. Sergeant Tibbs, who had been heard frightening tales about the old crumbling house, was more than a little frightened. But bravely he eased himself through the window and started his search. Suddenly he saw a streak of light through the hole of a broken door. Tibbs could hear loud voices. Ever so carefully and silently he slipped through the hole and into the room. The startled cat could hardly believe his eyes or ears. In the room were 3 villainous-looking characters, 2 men and a woman, and Tibbs counted them carefully. There were 99 Dalmatian puppies, 15 of them who had collars and licenses. They must have been the missing puppies. The evil woman was Cruella de Vil, whose ancestors had once lived in a huge house. She was screaming at the 2 men, Horace and Jasper Badham. I tell you this job to get it done tonight, she shrieked. I have no time to argue. But the pups aren't big enough, answered one of the Badhams as Cruella departed in a fury. You couldn't even get a dozen fur coats out of the whole cadoodle. Oh my, thought Sergeant Tibbs. Those puppies are going to be made into coats. Dogskin coats, like the one that I'm wearing. I got to warn the colonel. He crept out noisily to where the shaggy dog awaited him. The colonel had lost no time in sending the message that the stolen puppies had been found. An old hound picked up the news and relayed it to a small dog floating down to the River Thames on a barge. The barge dog yelped into the night, and a collie in a nearby cow barn sent along the news with yips and barks and howls. In the small London little house, Pongo and Perdita waited. "Oh, Pongo," wailed Purdy, "I'm afraid it's no use. There's been no answer for—" "Wait!" cried out Pongo. "Listen! It's the Great Dane over at Hampstead." The two dogs listened breathlessly. "Our puppies have been found!" cried Pongo. "The Danes are going to meet us to the Primrose Hill and give us directions." Quickly, the two dogs nosed their way through a partly open window, leaped to the ground, and were off running into the night. In the old crumbling mansion in Suffolk, Tibbs had returned to help the puppies. It was no easy task. With the two Badhams, Horace and Jasper, watching television, Sergeant Tibbs had cautiously urged the puppies to escape, one by one, through the hole in the room door. But the last fat puppy struggled through the door. He had yelped, and now they had been discovered. Tibbs and the Dalmatian puppies were concerned under the staircase. Jasper and Horace, one armed with a heavy poker, and the other was with a broken chair leg, advanced menacingly. Pongo and Perdita had been following directions through the barking chain all night. Now they hesitated on a crossroad. Perdita was discouraged. "Pongo," she wept, "I'm afraid we're lost." "I don't think so," answered Pongo. "It can't be far." And once again he barked the alert. The answer came from a near at hand. It was a gruff throat from the colonel, the old sheepdog. "Quick, follow me," he said as he turned to lead the way. "I'm afraid there's trouble." But the old fellow, slipping and sliding on the icy road, soon fell behind. Pongo and Perdita raced on, for from the old house they could hear the sounds of dozens of whimpering puppies. The Badhams were jubilant. "Ah, we got them now!" gloated Jasper. Then they gave a startling yelp. There was a crash of glass, and two furious Dalmatian dogs jumped into the room through the window. "Aye, what's this?" shouted Horace. "Looks like a couple of spotted hyenas." Sergeant Tibbs turned to the puppies. "Come on, kids," he said. "Now is our chance to escape." In a jiffy, the puppies swarmed through the broken door and were away, floundering through the snowdrifts after the cat. The Badhams did their best to defend themselves against Pongo and Perdita, but in the confusion, many of their blows landed on each other. The fight ended abruptly. Jasper and Horace collided within each other and stumbled into a wall. It was old and crumbly, and the impact of their weight made it crack wildly from the floor to the ceiling. There was a rain of plaster, boards, and debris, and the two men were buried up under their necks. "Come on, Purdy, let's go," said Pongo, and the two ran after Sergeant Tibbs and the puppies. Jasper shouted furiously after them. "I'll get even with you. I'll skin every one of those spotted hyenas as if the last thing I do." The Pongos followed the trail of the puppies to the colonel's living quarters, a warm barn. They were promptly surrounded by joyous, squirming puppies, all of them talking at once. "Are all 15 of you here?" asked Pongo anxiously. Pongo and Perdita started to count. Then they noticed for the first time in the barn was filled with dozens and dozens of Dalmatian puppies. 99, all of you," gasped Pongo. "Most of us were bought at the pet shop," explained one of the puppies. "That mean woman wanted to make dogskin out of all of us. That mean old woman wanted to make dogskin coats out of us, like the one that I'm wearing." "Then we can't leave you here. We'll have to take you all back to London with us," said Pongo. "It's time to retreat," said the colonel, who was on guard at the door. "I see a truck following our tracks through the snow. Better be off. We'll delay your pursuers as much as possible." "Goodbye, Colonel. Goodbye, Sergeant, and thank you," said Pongo and Perdita. "Ah, it was nothing," growled the colonel. "All in the line of duty, you know." Quickly the dogs swarmed through the back door and were soon lost sight in the thick underbrush. Mile after mile the Bantams followed the dog trail, and now Cruella de Vil, in her big, powerful car, had joined them. For a while, Pongo eluded them by having all the puppies walk in a single file line down the frozen creek, which showed no tracks. Still, they were almost caught once when a Bantams truck stopped on a bridge under which trembling puppies were hidden. At last the truck drove on, and the dogs continued their way to the distant barking. Someone was trying to reach them with a message. It turned out to be a big black Labrador. "Pongo," he panted as he came from up bounding. "I got a ride home for all of you, if we can get there in time. Follow me." He led them through the back streets of the little town of Disford into a desert blacksmith's shop. "Do you think you can see a van out the window?" asked the Labrador. "As soon as the engine is prepared, it's going to London." "Pongo, look," said Perdita. "There's Cruella." "And here comes the Bantams," groaned Pongo. The rickety truck of Cruella de Vil's huge roadster drew came to a stop in the street. As Pongo pondered of the problem, two of the puppies tumbled out of the fireplace. "Dad!" yipped at one of them. "Lucky pushed me into the fireplace. I'll push him in too." And Pongo turned to see two black coal puppies trembling into the soot of the forge. "Perdita," said Pongo, "I have an idea. We're all root and soot. We'll all be black Labradors. And if we travel in small groups, I think we can reach undetected." Perdita hated to soil her fur coat, but the puppies joyously rolled around in the soot, and soon Pongo, a dignified Perdita, joined them. Outside, Cruella and her henchmen were on a search in the village. "Hurry!" urged the Labrador. "The vans are almost ready to leave. I'll take the first batch of puppies to the van, and then I'll stay there to help the rest of them board. Follow me in little groups." An army of black puppies began to trek behind Cruella de Vil and into the van. Cruella had studied them with narrow eyes. Something was suspicious. She had never seen so many black Labradors in her life. Then Cruella's eyes widened. At last, as puppy left in the smithing, a lump of melting snow fell onto the ears, fell behind his back. The soot was drifting away to show Cruella the white coat with black markings of a Dalmatian puppy. "It can't be!" she screamed. "It's impossible! Horace! Jasper! Come here quickly!" The van was already on the move, with Pongo running desperately after it, the last puppy in his mouth. With the last burst of speed, he grasped onto a precarious hold onto the tailgate, and Perdita pulled the two to safety. "There they go!" shrieked Cruella. "The puppies are in the van! After them!" She tried to turn into a big car. She tried to turn her big car into the narrow village street, but the Bantams had driven at her summons, and they were blocking the way. "That'll delay them for a while," said Pongo with satisfaction. The van sped along towards London. The driver was going as fast as he could, for he was anxious to get home for Christmas Eve. Pongo was elected. "Perdita," he said happily, "we made it." But his happiness was short-lived. The bright headlights of a fast pursuing car suddenly flashed into their eyes. "Pongo, it's her! It's Cruella!" cried Perdita. Cruella urged her big car to the side of the speeding van and tried to force it off the road. The driver fought to keep it out of the ditch. "Crazy woman driver!" he shouted. "What on earth are you trying to do?" He moved as best as he could, but Cruella continued to push him to the side, and the van teetered precariously over the deep hitch. Inside the lurching van, Pongo and Perdita desperately tried to keep on their feet. The van was full of furniture, and the frightened puppies were hidden in various drawers and cabinets. Their safety was debatable, however, for Cruella viciously and recklessly kept up her efforts to push them off the road. Then fate intervened in the form of Jasper, the tall Bantam. He and Horace were following closely behind Cruella, at highest speeds the rickety truck had ever accomplished. "Oh, I watch, Horace, watch, lad," shouted Jasper gleefully. "Watch my shove them into a ditch." With an extra burst of speed, he drew them alongside the two remaining carrying vehicles. But he had forgotten that the road was narrow and slippery. And at a curve, Cruella's car and the Dalmatians' truck crashed off the road amid a shower of broken metal. The van swerved out of the way and sped on. Behind, Horace and Jasper picked themselves out of the broken wreckage, and ignoring Cruella, began a dreary trudge to London. Cruella watched them leave and looked at what she was left. "Oh," she sobbed furiously. "Oh, I give up." It was Christmas Eve, but no one in the little house at the Regent's Park felt happy. Roger had written a song that was a great success, and the Radcliffes were no longer poor, but all they could think about was their beloved Dalmatians. Suddenly, a host of happy barking black dogs swarmed through the front door. The Radcliffes were almost knocked off of their feet by a sea of black puppies. Then Roger saw something familiar in the shape of a big dog's head and dusted it off. "Pongo! It's Pongo!" he cried, grabbing the big dog's forepaws, and did a joyous dance around the room. At last, with the help of a pair of feather dusters, the familiar white coats and black spots of their Dalmatians came to view. Pongo, Perdita, and their 15 puppies were all dusted off, accounted for. "But look, Anita!" Roger exclaimed. "There are more puppies everywhere. Why, there must be 100 of them. Let's see, there were 6 and 12, makes 16, and..." Roger finally finished counting. "That's 84 puppies. Add Pongo and Perdita and their pups, we have 101 Dalmatians. Where are we all going to fit them?" "And what will we do with them?" gasped Anita. "We'll keep them," Roger answered. "What?" said Anita. "In this little house?" In answer, Roger picked his way through the puppies to the piano. He made room for himself on the bench, which was covered with more puppies, and started playing. "We'll buy a big place in the country," said Roger, as the first notes twinkled. "Well, we have a plantation, or Dalmatian plantation." And that was the end of 101 Dalmatians. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as my second YouTube channel, Sher from 2000. Oh, I'm sorry, that's this channel. I meant Sher from Your Creations. Share Your Creations. I can't talk today. I'm a little crazy. I hope you guys join me tomorrow, because tomorrow is the last day that I'll be reading off of my books series. So, see you guys tomorrow.